Today on Jager's Garage, we're going to be putting upgraded suspension in the Pioneer 1000. It's got the factory springs in it. Before I got it, somebody put in a lift kit, and all it does is straighten them up, and it just rides really rough. Plus it's got the most basic ones that came on these in them. And after doing a lot of research and stuff, everybody says the best ones to go with are the Elka. So I went ahead and got the Elka Stage 3s, which these are going to be what's going on it. These will be for the front. And they've got compressed slow speed, compression dampening adjustment, and then basically height adjustment here. The Stage 4s also had a rebound adjustment, but they were quite a bit more expensive. These are bad enough as it is. And it's basically I went to Stage 3. Front, here's the rears. Got to mount that up too. They have the Stage 2s and the Stage 1s, which the Stage 1s are you get a full set for the price of just one set of, just get a full set of 4 for the same price as just the fronts or just the rears with these, but there's no adjustability on them. And then the Stage 2s, I don't remember exactly. Basically, looking through it all, trying to weigh out costs versus what I was wanting, I figured the Stage 3s would be the best fit. So we're going to get those put on here. First we need to go take it for a spin so we can see a before and after. Alright, we're back from our test with the factory shocks. Now first thing we're going to do is take measurements at the corners of this rub rail. So when I put the new shocks in, I can set the ride height pretty close to the same. I think I'm going to set it just a hair lower, just because on the rear here, as it sits at full droop with the lift kit on it, it actually binds slightly. I actually kind of got to force the shock up about ½ an inch to get it in the bolt hole, so I'm probably going to set the ride height to where it's at the edge of that, because I don't want it being so far at the limit that it's forcing it down farther than it wants to go. I think I might be putting a bind on the CV joint in there as well. So we've got 15 3/4. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, just to make it easier to get in here, is take the tire off. I've already got it all jacked up. Old shocks out. You can see a nice comparison side by side. Now I've got to take this lift kit out. bolts are in. Now we gotta take this reservoir without kinking the hose. Mount her right about there. Okay. Well, it's all set and bolted in. I'm just gonna have to put the tire on, see what the ride height is sitting at. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to crank it up now while it's easier. Put anti-seize on the thread of this so it doesn't gall, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to adjust it later for ride height. And then while I have my anti-seize, I'm gonna pull it on my studs. Okay, now I'm going to move over and do the other side. Well, first, look at it all up in there. Okay, I've got the rear all done. I've actually got the other side front undone, because the way the lift kit on the front here works is the bracket goes all the way across the front. I'm gonna get this tire off. You can see, I'll put that there, that be in the way. Good enough. How they do the lift kit, the shock's supposed to mount right here, and all they do is move it outboard. So by making it straight up and down, it's more efficient and it actually pushes the lift on. But the problem with that is it actually makes the ride a lot stiffer with these already stiff stock shocks. So I gotta work on getting those two bolts out. If it's like the ones on the other side, it's gonna be a challenge, because I don't know if it's the lift kit brackets weren't cut right or what, but on the other side, this bolt, I had to thread it out most of the way, and I still didn't get it out all the way. That one's spinning, so that's nice. Okay. Yeah, see, it's all the way across. Comparison for you for the front. Turn that over. way easier. Alright. We'll get this tire on. Anti-seize. Got the new shocks on all four corners and the right height set. It's actually currently about a 1/4 inch higher than it was before. I figure I'll run it that way for a little bit. I've rolled it back and forth so it'd kind of settle in. But I figure, one, the springs usually wear in and sag a little bit when they're new. Not as bad with coils as leaves, but I'll run it this way for a bit and see how it goes. I'll have to go do a test run and see if it's smoother. Alright, it seemed to work pretty good. It's a lot softer at slow speeds for sure. Going over bumps and stuff, it's not as jarring. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera, but especially the other camera in the cab. But it's definitely softer as it goes over them. But I'm thinking I'm going to actually take some of this preload out and lower it back down, because the arms from factory, where they're supposed to run at, are at a much greater angle, so that'll actually make it be a bit harsher too. So I'm actually going to try taking some of this preload back out and let it go back down a bit. I'll probably measure it real quick and see how it's settled in, and then crank them down and see how it goes. Alright, so when I first put these on, let me loosen this first real quick. You gotta loosen this security nut on the collar. Alright, when it was first on here, it was at 2 3/4 from top of this to that lip. And I took it up to 3 inches. I say 2 1/4. Took it up to 3 inches, 3/4 inches. Now I'm taking it down to 2 11/16. Kind of a middle ground between where it was, the right height, and where I'm going to set it at, and we'll see how that goes.